This is high altitude white tea planted in the mountains near Fuding, where we're staying in a small village with a family that's been planting these mountains for generations. So this is one of the white tea buds. Inside, this little part is what's going to be picked and dried and kept as white tea. They'll pick this whole part and then they'll pull off this outer leaf and discard it. When you dry white tea, as opposed to other teas, you don't cook it or heat it, you just put it in the shade and let it dry naturally.
This is China. On the southeast coast is Fujian province, where the Ice Age never touched. In the north of Fujian province is Fuding. The mountains around Fuding are where we believe the best white tea is. We pick up the youngest son of the small farming family, which grows our white tea. And after a few errands, we leave through the old town and into the hills up past the last large commercial farms to where the mountains are still wild. You can see crystals on the path. In some ways, white tea is the most wild of 6 types of tea. And the good white tea depends on the weather a lot. We will drive to where this road ends. Our small village is there. So let's see why this is the best white tea place.
We pulled over to take a look at the rock. It looks really dark on the outside, but where it's unoxidized, where new rock has fallen away, you can see it's really quite orange. With white tea, you actually look for really orange earth to help you guess what will make the brightest white tea. You can see this here is it's a stone, but you can actually just crumble it into earth. And the white tea will grow out of this, and the Chinese call it 2D. We might call it terroir. It is the flavor of this earth that makes a white tea truly remarkable. It's bright orange, like a mandarin fruit.
This is a really big family. White tea is certainly the least processed tea. After the long winter, the first bud grows in the early spring. Those buds are the white tea buds we want. Other buds look like white tea, but taste better. Even? She cooked the last time, so I'm gonna cook for you, and she cooked for you too.
Learn some of the wisdom from your grandmother.
Yes, some secret. We dry these buds naturally. Without encouraging or stopping fermentation, we make white tea. I guess this is the reason why people think white tea is especially good for health, because it's so fresh.
We just arrived in a small village a few hours outside Fuding, where we're staying with some old friends who are white tea farmers. We have a few minutes before dinner, so let's take a trip up to the mountains and see their fields. So this is the path up to their tea fields. We're pretty high up. It's definitely the altitude is pretty high. The air's a little thin, but it's so clean and so nice. So we're finally at the top of the mountain here in one of their many white tea fields. All around us on these hillsides are terraces of white tea plants. And so there are 2 really special things about white tea. One of them is that you have to pick it at the right time of year in the right climate, when it's not too sunny, but it's also not overcast and rainy. The other thing is that white tea can only be harvested for about 5 years. Then you have to cut the whole plant back and let new growth develop. So over here you can see these are young plants with maybe about 1 year of growth, whereas over here these are older plants that are maybe 4 or 5 years old, still able to be harvested this year, but probably they'll cut them back soon. Now if you look at some of these plants, all of this is new growth that they're going to keep and use for tea for about the next 5 years. And you can see how tender and nice and lush it is. When it gets older, they'll have to cut it back, just like this woody part.
Wow, 超鲜的。Just some salt in that.
You can buy this tea on our website, littlemountaintea.com.
And when you do that, you'll be supporting those farmers that we met in northern Fujian, that we stayed with and visited their farm. They're a small family farm, and they grow some of the best white tea.
Yes, because of this tea is really good.
Yeah, we've tried a lot of white teas. Just recently I was at the Hong Kong Tea Expo and went up and down the line, like 12 different white teas, and not a one of them was as bright and deep as this.
And also you can see all those white hairs in this. That's why this tea called white hair. 白毫银针.